even earn credit for experience you already have or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
This is Brian Balaga. You're listening to 94.5 ESPN.
94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI-HD Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. The biggest sports stories in Wisconsin, talked about by Wisconsin sports fans. For Wisconsin sports fans.
What are you talking about? What am I
You're playing scared.
Yeah, you're scared. I can see it.
I see the fear in your eyes. You know who I didn't see the fear in his eyes?
Who's that?
Jackson Churio.
Yeah, no doubt.
But now all of a sudden, Jordan Love is consistently in that top 5 quarterback conversation because he is, dare I say, the word elite.
Why are kids staying out to 1:30 in the morning?
It was homecoming.
What is going on at 1:30 in the morning for children?
What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do I mean?
You saw what Jason did there with the 6'7", trying to appeal to the Gen Z people. Always doing that, Jason. I get what you're doing there.
You're so annoying with that.
What?
This is Sunday Karma, powered by ESPN Wisconsin. Broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue. Alongside Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, and Kyle Wallace, here's Good Karma Brand's founder and CEO, Craig Karmazin.
Is Luke Fickell the best coach in Badger history, or second behind Alvarez, or do you think Brett Bielema, when you look at how he accumulated wins, is he second to Fickell? When you look at the all-time guys who could win a big game, as Luke Fickell did yesterday against a ranked team in a tough spot, everything against him. Obviously, I think we all see Luke Fickell as one of the all-time greats. Craig Karmazin, Greg Scalzo, Alex Strofe, Kyle Wallace with you. Kyle Wallace on the 1s and 2s
You're
and 3s and 4s
Sunday
and
Karma.
5s and 6s.
That's
and
all.
6s.
That, whatever's happening right now, all that cleanliness of sound. Kyle Wallace.
And 7s and 8s. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, Kyle.
I wish Luke Fickell was at least a 6 as a coach. He's a 1.
6, 7.
Wow.
Yeah, the 6, 7.
The man just won his first Big Ten
Come
game
on.
in over a year.
The Badgers,
Victory.
the Badgers are now 1-11 in their last 12 against ranked teams. Give the man some credit.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
that's
Progress.
Hey, no mention of Gary Anderson in the
Nah, Gary wasn't.
echelon of legends.
No. I mean, Gary
Gary's better
Anderson's
than what we
ahead
got
of
now.
Gary Anderson's ahead of Fickell,
Yes.
and obviously we're joking, but it was a great win for the program yesterday.
Was it?
It was
I
a
don't
great
know if
win
great.
for the program. It was a great win for the program. Like, you have to think about the Greg Scalzos of the world and the kids who came to college and they're freshmen and they're sitting there and they haven't won a game, and now, whether ironic or not, they're able to rush the field and be part of a rainy, memorable game that for their entire college careers, they're going to remember that game, that they stood out in the rain and that the Badgers won against a ranked team and they rushed the field. And I said to someone, it feels like 1991-ish. And I'm not saying that 93 is going to come 2 years later, but like where you would rush the field for beating the 24th ranked team or whatever. Like, the bar has been lowered so much, but it's still a win against the team. It was with your 4th string quarterback. It was with everything going against you, and you have to give the team some credit, Kyle, which I know you don't want to do.
No, I want to give, shout out.
By the way, those linebackers, man,
No, shout
that
out
feels
to-
like Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Like
Shout out- I was
those
gonna say,
linebackers.
Shout out to the true freshman, one from Germantown and Cooper Catalano, and shout out to Mason Poster, the pride of New Mexico. I got those two guys.
Dude, that
played
felt like
out of their mind.
I actually watched more of the game yesterday than I think I'd watched of any Badger game this year. Because I have not made it through most of the games.
I don't blame you.
And I was watching those two guys being like, this reminds me of stuff. But then I'm like, wait, but what I heard Max say this week and all that is like, we need more money. So is it to go buy more players who are going to come in for 1 year, and then if they find a better deal somewhere else, they're going somewhere else? Like, how? I don't really know what the vision is still of how we're trying to build the program, but I know those two guys were exciting to watch. And
Guess who else saw them two guys?
with an offense that had nothing, right? We could agree the offense
yeah,
had
but, like,
nothing.
also, their leading passer, Ademekwa,
Was their punter.
another freshman,
Sean West.
you know? So,
Yeah.
that's exciting. Another
Wasn't he-
freshman in-state guy as the leading passer? Like,
Wait, so their punter who had the big pass.
Their backup punter, by the way.
Wait, was he
backup
not?
punter.
Was he not the guy who had the run?
It was
a
him.
few
He was.
weeks-
That was
Yeah,
the same
he's a
guy.
backup.
Okay,
Couple
this
weeks ago,
guy's
yeah.
good.
yeah,
What?
just throw him in at quarterback.
Yeah,
you
well,
know?
I don't know why we still are calling him a
Because
punter.
I was watching that fake punt a few weeks ago,
Right.
and then I was
Dual
watching
threat.
that. Yeah, and they don't have to have them wear the same number as their quarterbacks because, like, USC did that. Do you see? I see this.
Yeah,
USC
Bush League.
USC changed their punter's jersey number, so it's the same as their quarterback.
No, I thought they
so
changed
you-
the
yeah.
quarterback to,
Sorry,
like,
sorry. No,
80
here's
or
what they
something
did.
like
No,
that.
they changed their third string quarterback's jersey number so that it would match their punters.
And then put him out on the punt?
So they brought him out to punt, and then he just threw a pass, because everyone assumed it was the punter, and he completed a pass. Badgers don't need to do that because their quarterbacks aren't a threat to throw the ball.
Their punter is.
I know,
Yes.
exactly. So after this win, after this week, 800-990-3776. That is your Carbless talk and text line where less is more. 800-990-3776. Where are you all on the Wisconsin Badgers? None of us have given us any sort of serious thing other than Kyle playing a bunch of buzzers when we were trying to introduce the segment. How are you feeling about Wisconsin given the entirety of what you have seen and heard this week, right? We heard Chris McIntosh come on Wildy and Tausch this week and address everything in, I would say, the most in-depth, way he could, and which we appreciate, and was willing to stand up, back up, explain his comments about it's not just wins and losses, and really go through everything with those guys. And then you see Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers lose another quarterback early on and actually grit out a win against a ranked opponent who was fighting for their college playoff life yesterday, right? So
Yeah.
let's not
They had something to play
minimize
for.
what Washington was doing. Obviously, bad weather conditions and all that. So given the entirety of what we experienced this week, let's start with Kyle Wallace on how do you define this past 7 days in Badger football?
I would still define it as a sad state of affairs for Wisconsin Badger football, where the athletic director felt compelled enough that he needed to come out for some reason before the season even ended to say that I'm standing behind Luke Fickell for 2026. Now, imagine had he just been patient, right, and actually believed in his program that they can actually win a game in the next 4 and they beat Washington. Wouldn't this have been a perfect time to say, hey, what I saw on the field from some of them young guys on the football field, especially on the defensive side of football, how they played against Washington, how they played against Oregon, I'm seeing some bright spots. I understand right now the offense has some issues. We have another quarterback that went down. I feel like had he waited just a couple more days, but he knew that, hell, I can do it now or later, but we're not going to win a lot of games, so I might as well get ahead of it so I can help with recruiting. So
Maybe he
it's a
believed
sad
in the
state of affairs.
process and didn't need to see the results, unlike you, because he
No.
knew this stuff was brewing.
And maybe I have a couple $1 million sitting somewhere that I'm just hiding away that I don't know where it's at. No, it's just that's
If you do, would you support the NIL program with it?
if they fired Luke Fickell.
Oh, okay.
I would give if I had $1 million stacked away I know about. I would buy at least. I mean, I don't know what $200,000 would buy, but I'd put $200,000 towards.
If
them.
I had $1 million
Stuffed away,
stashed
I didn't know where it was.
Then
at.
you would put $200,000 to keeping that
There is
punter.
a
To keeping that
0%
punter.
chance that Kyle Wallace would put
0%.
20% of the $1 million that he has and give it to student athletes with the University of Wisconsin Badger program.
maybe 20,000.
Maybe 2,000.
maybe 2,000.
Like,
Yeah.
maybe.
How much does it cost to feed a couple of these football players for a week?
Strophy, your thoughts.
Nobody lies about money like Kyle Wallace. I think this team's desperate for a lot of things, right? And yesterday was a team that was desperate for a win, and they got one. And I think they really, obviously needed one. But they're desperate for belonging. They're desperate for notoriety. They're desperate for getting back to the roots of Wisconsin football. They're desperate for an identity. They're desperate for everything.
But they
right?
weren't desperate to be like on the transfer portal. They were desperate to play. Like they were focused enough to give an effort
Yeah.
for their coach this week.
Which was good, right? And I think if this is going to be Wisconsin football, right? If Luke Fickell's going to be the man in charge, like Chris McIntosh said earlier this week that he is, this is a good place to start. And it was a win's a win. It was not a pretty win. It was not a good win, but it was a win, a quality win, if you will, against a ranked opponent. So we'll see. My opinion has not changed much. I think this team stinks, and he's probably not the right guy. But a win's a win, and congrats and good job on that.
Greg?
You're so positive. I actually like that Matt came out and said what he said because
No, you didn't.
If that's what his plan is, I like that he communicated that to the team, to the staff, to the fan base. Like, it is the first time in years since they hired Luke Fickell where it felt like a real decision and direction was made. And this was Mac doubling down on a bet that he made that we all believed in the first place. And I'm not saying I agree with his decision. I'm saying I like the fact that he went out and said, look, I'm going to clearly give you the direction that I want to take this program in, and that is me putting my support behind Luke Fickell. That does help with recruiting. That does help with the staff. That does help with the current players who might be thinking about transferring. It does help with whatever culture Luke Fickell's trying to create, whether we think it's a good one or not.
Sure.
That at least felt like, okay, he's trying to minimize the noise. My big question around all of this is if the goal is to try to increase the financial commitment from alumni, from sponsor partners, and from everybody, is keeping Luke Fickell going to net you the most money if you're identifying money as the way to quickly turn the program around?
Well, you're an alum.
Because I don't think that there's a lot of people who believe in Luke Fickell now the way that Mac does. And the question now becomes, and the pressure now is on Mac to go out himself.
And the general manager,
in
Dr. Newberry. Dr. Newberry.
Marcus Newberry, right? Or,
Yep.
Yeah, Dr. Newberry. I'll show the respect.
It's on
Is he a doctor?
It's on the athletic department now.
Why are you looking at me like that?
No,
I was just in his ear.
Oh, I thought you said that over the air. I thought you said that over the air. I was like, wow.
Wait, for some reason, I don't get the stuff
Correct.
that Kyle says to you guys. Okay.
It was funny. It's on the athletic department now, whoever you want to talk about, to now be able to convince the partners, the donors, that they should believe in Fickell the way that Chris McIntosh does. So, I like the fact that he has a direction. Well, it's not necessarily the direction I would go, but I respect him for plainly speaking out what he wants to see.
But that's the issue I have, Greg, because we're all aware of the optics of this. This is not the first or the second, but the third time this season that Chris McIntosh has gone out of his way to speak the unspoken.
No,
right?
but this was the first time it was like, hey,
definitive.
forget
He's
about
back
next
here
year, right?
yes.
Right. This was
But what
about
about the
next
letter
year,
2
not
weeks
just.
ago?
But that wasn't
It was very
next year.
vague and like
It was we're going to put more money into it next year. We're going to fix this. And after the Maryland loss, he pulls aside a few reporters and says, "I believe in Luke Fickell." Like, you shouldn't need to do that. If you have this big fish that they hired in November of 2022.
Right. But at 2-6 and no wins in the conference, if he doesn't say anything, you can't be that naive to say like, oh, that would show he's competent, right?
But
he
does
doesn't
this really
need to
help
give
with
him
clarity? I guess.
Yes, we know who the coach is
but
next year.
specifically with recruits, right? Recruits they have the ESPN app. They have TVs. They
Correct.
know the product is awful, and it has been awful the entirety of his direction.
Yeah, but,
it's not like
Alex,
recruits.
if Luke Fickell or someone from this coaching staff is calling, texting, going into your living room, I don't know what's legal these days, but doing whatever you can do, and you're a parent or you're a kid, and you're like, well, I kind of like these guys, and I could see being part of this, but I have no idea if they're going to be back, right? Like, that's what this is about, right? This is the belief that Luke Fickell recruited a lot of great players seemingly in that offseason when the Badgers won the national championship. I don't remember which year that was, but that national championship winning offseason, right? He obviously was able to recruit people and had a vision. So if the idea is he has a vision, we need those parents and those kids to be able to trust that his vision will be seen at least into next year.
Sure.
That's what this is about.
Yeah, okay. I hear you on that. And now the question for me is, after the week that was with the backing, the publicity stunt, and then the win yesterday.
Publicity stunt? What was the stunt?
Yeah, he went and he basically said,
It wasn't a stunt. He was direct, as Greg said, in giving his thoughts.
Okay, sure. I still.
And then I give him a lot of respect because when you're doing it with Badger Connect, which is kind of an extension of the university, it feels a little bit like
Fluff
Matt
piece,
LaFleur talking to Packers.com.
Yeah.
And then he went and spent 30 minutes with Wilde and Tausch here on ESPN Wisconsin. And Jason, I thought, was great. He would join us.
I love when Wilde starts the interview just with like, all right,
I got a job.
I got a job to do.
I know we like each other, but I have a job to do. Like,
And he
Jason was
asked-
in that mode.
He asked some clear questions, and I think Mac was able to give his answers. And I think a lot of fans can disagree with some of the answers. But again, like, we got a lot of information as far as what he sees. And I think some of the things he said were correct. Like, when you talk about recruiting high schoolers, this team has been able to do that at a higher level than any coach and coaching staff since probably Barry Alvarez, or maybe even better. The challenge has become, and I didn't like how many excuses came with the injuries. I will say that. That was one part where I was like, yeah, every team has injuries. Beyond that, though, this team does need an identity. Like, we're still not sure what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do.
But isn't it fair to say that when you haven't had a like they've had a starting quarterback for 11 games of their entire tenure,
Can I ask you a question?
and for not even 11 quarters this year, not even like 3 quarters this year, that not understanding the identity is kind of understandable?
Yes, but like yesterday was the first day any of us, and maybe this past few weeks was the first time any of us could look at it and say, wow, that defense actually looks like a Badger defense. Like,
Yeah.
They look good yesterday.
Which it was in the
Badgers-
pouring rain, and like, so I don't want to go
Correct.
too.
But my point
I
is
don't even
that
know. Was it snowing?
Yeah, it was
Was
sleeting.
it sleeting?
No,
Was
but
it
all-
raining?
A little bit of all, I think.
And they had 2 weeks to prepare for a Washington offense, right? So, I mean, I think with the elements and everything, I was very impressed with that. But going back to the quarterback situation, I mean, Billy Edwards Jr., he's a good quarterback, but he was on a losing team before that. Tanner Mordecai came from SMU, right? And then the kid they had last year, Van Dyke, he had bounced around all over the place. So it's not like they had these quarterbacks that were going to.
So Joe Burrow.
Well, Joe Burrow started out.
I'm just saying, like, you can't these days. Cam Ward bounced around.
That's true.
You know who
Your team
You know who
needs
didn't
to-
win a lot in
Cam
his
Ward.
first? Jaden Daniels. You know, he went from
But he was
Arizona
also a
State
top-
to
He was
LSU.
also a top prospect.
I
coming out
know,
of the
but I'm
country.
saying,
So
like, the idea that quarterbacks bounced around, I don't think we could look at as a negative
no, it's
anymore.
not about bouncing around. It's about where they came from.
Like,
If you had a team that was like, oh, if the quarterback was right, this team might have won 1 or 2 more games, and they still wouldn't get to 5 wins. Like, it's,
I think the thing that bothers all of us is that we think that you could go back over the last 30 years, and if the quarterback was out with the offensive line and the 1st through 5th running backs, who all we think could have been RB1, right? Like, usually there'd be like at least 4 guys on this roster who could be RB1, and that you're going to go out and rush for 200 yards against all but maybe like the top 10 teams in the country, right? Like, that's what Wisconsin we knew. Maybe against the top 10 team, the Ohio States, all that, you're not going to just be able to just run the ball 40 times for 200 yards, but against just about everyone else you could. And that's where I think, Greg, you're talking about maybe not having an identity.
well, yes, and when you have a great lines, then the skill positions don't need to be as great as they need to be when you don't have good offensive and defensive lines. Like, and that's where this Badger program and identity has been for 30 years. And I think that getting back to that place needs to be a priority. And I think that Mack and Fickell need to be aligned on that. He talked about the alignment from the chancellor all the way down to the coach. I hope that plays out. And like, look, you're looking at me like I'm crazy for even being positive about this. I am a Badger fan. I am a Badger alum. I want it to work.
That's what I was going to ask
and
you.
so it's like, I'm not like, oh, I hope it fails so they get rid of Luke Fickell.
Of course.
We all thought Fickell was the right hire from the beginning.
Yep.
I hope Matt comes back on one day on KBN and Ben and Brad have to cower to him because he was right. Like, that's what I want to happen. And maybe,
Wait, now I saw Kyle text us before the show that, like, people are killing Ben and Brad.
Oh, big time, man.
Yeah.
For what?
Because the Badgers won a football game where a punter was the leading passer after they were critical of the decision to come out and support a coach that had won 2 football games and not
Wait.
a game. in
Okay,
over
wait,
a
but you're
year.
giving your bias. So basically you're saying Badger fans were excited about the win and Ben and Brad were critical of this
During the
team.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they have been 2 of the most foremost critical individuals on this program and the direction of the program. So, yeah, they won a game and people were upset.
They won a game, and all of a sudden they're saying, "Yeah, look,
Well, hold
we
on.
won
Well, again,
a game."
back to Greg's point. That's what you do as a fan when you win a game. You get excited and
pathetic.
and you look at people who you feel like is not being loyal to the program. Like, again, I think Brad and Ben would say they are being loyal to the program by saying what they think is in their best interest. But I think there's another view of being a fan that's like, hey, you got to support and dig in and, toe the company line because you want to keep this program together, right? So I get both sides of that. All right, we'll talk more about it all, including if Greg was the murderer last night. We'll find out as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
This is Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. The best source for every piece of NFL news you need to know.
I would just say that right now I think all options are on the table. I think that they went through that trade thing and they talked to teams, and it's not like those talks are shut down.
ESPN NFL insider Adam Schefter is on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy every Wednesday morning at 7:30. Sponsored by Island Resort and Casino, Tony Wendorf and Associates, and Smart 18 Union on 94.5 ESPN, ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube, and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds, flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
Will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
Should be worn on the fingers
the wrist,
the neck and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
Change your grocery game plan to locally owned Century Foods, home of the best meat, freshest produce, and tastiest treats. Now through Wednesday, save on 11 to 32 ounce or 10 count selected varieties Starbucks coffee, $8.49. 32 ounce selected varieties International Delight Creamer, 2 for $7. 52 ounce selected varieties Florida's Natural Orange Juice, $3.99. 9.25 to 10.3 ounce selected varieties Healthy Choice Meals, 2 for $5.
I am starving.
Oh no, never walk into a Century when you're hungry.
Unless it's free sample day. Ooh, pizza, yes, I'd love to try that one.
My husband thinks he can make a meal out of grocery store samples.
Need to wash this down. I think I see someone handing out samples in the liquor department.
Geez, can we focus on our list?
What's this?
It says you can win 2 tickets to Green Bay's home game against Chicago on December 7th.
Or autographed footballs, or a 4-pack of Green Bay Hall of Fame tickets.
You have to enter through Century's Facebook or Instagram.
I'll be entering this on my phone in the deli next to that cheese sample station.
Enter by November 12th.
Hey Tom, I want a new hoop for the kids. Any ideas? Yeah, I got mine from Precision Sports over 10 years ago. They helped me choose the right hoop, installed it, and even painted my court lines. Nice. How do I reach them? Easy. PrecisionSportsOnline.com for a free quote.
Hey, it's Brad Nortman, and when it comes to my home, I want a team that I can trust, and that's Lifetime Home Services. From cleaner air and radon safety to custom closets and electrical work, they do it all under one roof. What I'm most excited about right now is their epoxy floors. They make your garage clean, durable, and organized, with shelving and storage to get everything off the floor. For over 30 years, families have trusted Lifetime Home Services to make their homes safer and better looking. Trusted solution, lifetime results. Schedule today at lifetimehomeservices.com.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
For general contest rules, visit ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
I feel so stuck.
Kyle Broston Nortman, KBN.
Jordan Love is excited to see what Matthew Golden can do in the game because he's seeing what he can do in practice, and he's like, dang, I don't know if I've ever had a guy like this before.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Talking Badger football on a Packer Monday night week, there's another turnover by Daniel Jones.
How boy Stroh, what happened?
How about the Atlanta Falcons with the lead and the ball, 17-13 in the third quarter in Berlin? How about that? The Atlanta Falcons with a 17-13 lead. Michael Penix Jr. versus Daniel Jones. Really entertaining game back and forth to this point. But Daniel Jones, who, has absolutely, come in and supercharge what seemed like the best offense in the NFL for the first 8 weeks of the year, has now run into what I would say is their first real adversity of the season, first getting routed by the Steelers. And now today, Daniel Jones, 3 fumbles and an interception today against the Atlanta Falcons, who have the best pass defense in the NFL. I don't know if everyone knows that, but they do. That's like a Scalzo take by me knowing that.
Yeah, that is. Big time.
But their defensive splits home and away are significant.
Well, they're in Berlin. What does that mean?
That's
now?
what I mean.
Yeah, is that away? Is that
bizarre?
Suspend reality.
What did I tell you about Thursday night games and international games are just like you throw the two teams in a box.
All right, so we were talking about the Badgers, and during the break we were looking at Melvin Gordon.
Got that one off.
I like how he by the way, is like, all right, you guys are done. Yeah. After he did a 3-minute intro
soliloquy about the overseas game.
That was just what's going. We don't need depth of it. We just need to let people know the NFL game 17-13 Falcons lead. We were just reading up Melvin Gordon 400 yards, Jonathan Taylor 250 on the road, like all this stuff with Badgers running backs, which again, I don't think many people could name the Badgers running backs right now, which is crazy when you think about all the quarterbacks are out. So you would think the running backs have had to step up. And again, is that a symptom of the offensive line? Is that a symptom of the style?
I don't think you even need to say running backs. I think where the Badgers are at, and this is what's going to be difficult for them in terms of trying to make money, is if we went out in downtown Milwaukee and asked 100 people to name a single current Badger football player, I think you might have 1 or 2 out of the 100 that could name a single Badger football player.
Dang.
That's true.
Sean West.
No, but
he's a stud on campus now.
No, but legit, I think Greg's right.
I think he's
like there's no name recognition.
There's no connection, and when you think you're going to build it with money, that also makes you think, like, is that going to strengthen that, or is that not today in college football? And I think we'd have to look and see, like, right, is Indiana the model, right? Is that who everyone's copying now? Is that what everyone wants to be? I know that's weird to say, but everyone wants to be Indiana football. Yeah. All right, I mentioned to Greg, were you the murderer last night? Ben Brust was sending videos. So you were it appeared you were at a murder mystery evening last night?
Yes, my wife, as Ben's wife, belongs to a book club. And the book club last night had a murder mystery party where they brought their significant others with them. Ben went full character, full dress up, talking.
Wait,
in the
so
accent.
you knew before you got there who your characters were? Like you had studied and prepped for your characters?
You were sent a document on who your characters were,
this. Okay, circle of trust, real quick. This sounds like your personal hell.
It's not something I would normally have signed up for. Correct. Yes. I'm not exactly the murder mystery party type. I was probably the one that was the least dressed up. But Ben was like full go character, the whole thing, the accent. There was one moment where
was it fun in the end?
Yeah, it was like a fun night, but
notice how his voice got much higher.
Well,
when he said that.
What's interesting is like you went around the room and people were like reading off of scripts.
Yeah,
And Ben actually made fun of some poor guy who was having trouble reading. He did the whole Billy Madison, dude, can you read? And called him out.
People can't be doing that.
Of all people. But, it was when you were reading it, I ended up, I didn't realize I skipped a part, and I solved the murder pretty quickly, much to the chagrin of some and to the celebration of others out.
So you solved it, but you were not the murderer.
I was not the murderer.
And Ben was not the murderer?
Ben was not the murderer. No.
Okay, there we go. All right, Jason Wilde was not the murderer either, but he sat down with Chris McIntosh. We will talk Badgers and maybe a little Packers with Wilde as we continue. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Goldsmiths are essential to running a jewelry store, but they're extremely hard to find.
Goldsmiths can repair jewelry, set diamonds, resize rings, and create beautiful, one-of-a-kind pieces of custom jewelry.
Most jewelry stores do not have an in-house goldsmith.
But Kessler's has 18 wonderful goldsmiths working in our 9 Kessler stores.
The average Kessler's goldsmith has more than 15 years of full-time experience.
And that's not counting all the apprentice goldsmiths and jewelry designers.
Our goldsmiths repair a lot of jewelry that we did not sell.
Bring us your broken jewelry and we'll bring it back to life.
When you see a woman with an extremely attractive, very distinctive engagement ring,
you can safely assume that it's a custom-designed, one-of-a-kind ring made by the goldsmiths at Kessler's.
When your relationship is special, you need a special engagement ring.
If you want something that's breathtakingly one-of-a-kind,
come to Kessler's.
For the location of the Kessler's nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This is an ad by BetterHelp.
Shorter days don't have to be so dismal. It's time to reach out and check in on those you care about and to remind ourselves that we are not alone. This month, don't wait to reach out. Whether you're checking in on a friend or reaching out to a therapist yourself, BetterHelp makes it easier to take that first step. Our listeners get 10% off their first month. Just call pound 250 and say the keyword timeout. That's keyword timeout after calling pound 250.
Homer here for Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles, plus you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
This holiday season, Target has your back with irresistibly cool gifts for everyone on your list. For the trendsetter, start with affordable beauty kits and gift sets. Need something the whole fam will love? Grab snuggly matching fits in every size and style. And for the thrill seekers, don't forget the hottest toys and tech of the season. Target's got you covered with the best deals for endless fun. Shop in store or online. And step into the holidays with Target. Restrictions apply.
The holidays are here, full of joy, family, friends, and yes, a little hustle and bustle. That's why you need Aleve. Between cooking, shopping, and all those extra errands, aches and pains can sneak in. Aleve is here to help with long-lasting body pain relief. Don't let body pain slow you down. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, you can keep up with the season's magic and all that awaits. Pick up Aleve and get back to what really matters, making memories. Use as directed.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Game Night, so for Events by Design. Events like appreciation parties and retreats can go a long way towards boosting morale and retaining top talent. Events by Design is your go-to creative partner for employee events that truly make an impact. They help leaders retain top talent by making their people feel seen, valued, and celebrated. The creative team at Events by Design does all the planning and production, making sure things not only look great, but also work. Make a smart investment in your culture today. Search online, Events by Design. They design, you party.
Green and gold fans, it's game day. And you know what that means. Tailgating with friends and raising a glass to our favorite team. This season, make Bacardi the star of your pregame party. Whether you're mixing up a classic Bacardi and cola, refreshing Bacardi lime and soda, or a smooth spiced and cola, Bacardi is the perfect pick for game day fun. Grab a bottle and get ready to cheer on Green Bay with the best in hand. Available now at your local retailer. Live passionately, drink responsibly. Bacardi USA, Miami, Florida. Run 40% alcohol by volume.
Station updates, show clips, and your place to interact with us every single day just by scrolling through your feed. Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at ESPN Milwaukee. More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Jason Wilde joins us now. And Jason, I know we have a good relationship and we're friends and all that, but we're journalists and we have a job to do. So we're just going to dig into this thing now. So, sorry, Jason, but we have our job to do, and we know it doesn't change how much we like you, but you get it, right, Jason?
Is that an invitation of me talking to Chris McIntosh?
Yes, it does. Like we will love to have you back when we play paintball with our shirts off at another time, or like whatever you were referring to that you like to do with Mac. But today we have to treat you as a journalist now.
Paintball with our shirts off.
Isn't that what you were talking about or something? What did you say at the beginning of the interview? Like, Tausch and I love when we come here and we get to, like, have pillow fights with you and like, what was it?
Oh, wow.
I feel seen. Yeah, I was trying to – it didn't – by the way, it didn't work, right? Like, he still kind of stuck to his talking points and – it didn't matter what I asked.
That's because you should have had a pillow fight with him at the beginning, and you should have joked and done all the stuff, and then you loosened him up, and then you could have gotten him off his talking points. But that'll be for next time.
It was we gave it the old college try, and hey, it worked. They won, right? It's all because he came out and announced that Fickell will be back next year. It's all because of that, right? That's why they won, not the weather or the ineptitude of the Washington Huskies or anything like that. It was, hey, they finally got all together and played really well because they knew that Luke Fickell would be back next year.
It's interesting to wonder what fans were rooting for yesterday, right? Like, were there fans who are hardcore Badger fans who are, besides Kyle, who are actually rooting for them to lose yesterday?
I was not rooting for them to lose.
You weren't?
Hell no.
Okay, good.
Why would you? You know Fickell's coming back. The only reason why you'd root for them to lose is if you thought it was going to lead to a change.
But do you just because they said he's coming back, if it was like really, really ugly, I mean, it's not like people can't change their minds. But anyway, so Jason, as you watched that evolve, at first let's talk about the interview, right? So what was your take on what Mac had to say to you and Tausch?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think he, knew what he wanted to stress and knew what he wanted to talk about. And, he did what all good interview subjects do in an effort to, butter up the interviewer, call him by name, say, well, that's a fair question. That's a good question, right? Those things.
I'm glad you asked that question, Jason. I think he was
exactly.
glad you asked three of them.
Single question,
I think 4 of the first 5 he was glad you asked.
Yes. So I get it. Like, again, I'm not new here. I'm familiar with what interview subjects do. But you guys have heard me say time and time and time again, it's not about the question. It's about the answer. And sometimes a really crummy question gets a really good answer. Sometimes what you think is a great question goes nowhere. My goal for that was to try and get him to give actual insight and information, and I'm not sure I succeeded. So
I kind of agree, right? Like
thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
No offense, Jason, but like I didn't hear a lot of substance. Like I didn't hear ultimately I think people were wondering what have you seen to make you feel good about this direction, right? And
yes.
Do you feel like that we knew? I mean, because I think the answer could be what we saw on the field yesterday, right? That in a situation where the team had every reason to give up, the team stayed together, played hard. There was impact from freshmen on that defense. Like that's an answer. What answer did you walk away with? Like what is your why after interviewing Mac on why he is giving Luke Fickell a vote of confidence? What do you think the true why is?
I think the true why is they don't want to shell out $25 million and start over again. And they see a schedule next year where they can realistically, now as Tausch pointed out later after Mac had hung up, the Purdue's and the Rutgers and the other schools are looking at the Badgers the same way. Well, that's a winnable game, but they're looking at hey, we can sell next year improvement if we go 6-6. It lowers the cost of the buyout further. But I don't believe him. Like, I think he wants, obviously, Luke Fickell to succeed because it's his guy, which every one of us would, right? Like, if you make a decision, you want that person to be successful because it was your name on the decision. But I don't think he came off, in my opinion, as particularly convincing as far as, this is definitely the right guy. We've seen all these. Like, he never articulated what he'd seen, right? We asked him about that. We talked about the lack of connectivity with state high school coaches, and he never disputed that. Like, in these interviews, one thing I would say for our listeners is not only is it about what he says, but what he doesn't say, right? Or what he eludes. And I thought that was a key part of the conversation. Now, I asked him point blank if this was a financial decision and that they don't have the wherewithal to pay the buyout, because that's what everyone talks about. And he didn't confirm that it was too much to be shelling out. What he said was, if he thought that this was the wrong direction, he wouldn't hesitate to make a change. Well, okay. I'm not sure I believe that. I think he believes in his guy and is going to give him every opportunity to show improvement next year. But the bottom line is, when he fired Paul Chryst, he said it was about winning championships. And until yesterday at about 6:30, they hadn't even won a Big Ten game this season. So we did what we could. I think it was a worthwhile effort. But no, I don't think there was any elucidation at the end of that conversation of, now I understand why they're sticking by Luke Fickell. I don't think there was any of that.
Anyone know what that means?
Elucidation?
Yeah. Like, I
Don't
would
look
think
at me. That's a tough one.
I would think
I
it
can
would mean
spell it.
like illuminate. I was thinking like illuminating, so like you would know more than you did before would be my guess. But
E-L-U.
I was thinking I.
No, it starts with an E. I can see the word.
I thought it was more about
elucidated.
I thought it was more about illuminating.
Is it similar to the word elusive? Like, was he eluding a question?
No. I thought it was more illuminating.
Eluding starts with A. Correct.
Yes. Allude starts with an A.
Elucidate is E-L.
starts with an E.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking illuminating more like with an I.
An I. Yeah.
Can
you define that for us, Jason?
I can.
Wait.
Craig is on the right track.
Well, only one of us was a valedictorian in their high school.
That is true.
Words are my thing. Everyone has their strengths. Illumination is good. Education, insight. That's what elucidation is.
There you have
learned
it.
Something you didn't know.
When it comes, Jason, to if you were able to get Mac in a spot where he was going to be brutally honest, like, what is the question that what is the answer you'd want to receive from him?
Look, I just want the truth. Like, I don't have a rooting interest of, am I a Jim Leonard guy? Absolutely. Right? Like, that was my guy. I've known him forever. I think the world of him. I think he understands what it means to be a Badger. I thought he should have gotten the job. And I have argued, when I rarely have an opinion, that they hired a guy who was a really good coach at Cincinnati, but I think they lost sight of the fact that he did that under the previous rules of engagement in college football. So I don't know that he's significantly more adept to have success in the current landscape. And Jim Leonard can say, look, I played in the NFL for a decade. I've coached in the NFL. I can help get you to the NFL. So not only are you going to be excited to get paid in the NIL world, but I can get you to the next level where you can get paid some more. And to me, there's incredible value in that. And I also think he understands what it is to be a Wisconsin Badger. So that was my guy. Him saying, yeah, I should have hired Jim Leonard. I'm not rooting for him to do that. The biggest thing that I wanted to hear from him is what we said at the very beginning of this conversation. I wanted him to be able to say very clearly, these are the reasons why I believe Luke Fickell is the right coach for this program. And not only did we never get that, but I was left with the impression that their solution is we need to throw more money at this, right? It's all about support and financial spend and all that other stuff. And I'm not sure that that's true. And until college football has something at least resembling a salary cap, this is exactly why the NFL has revenue sharing and a salary cap, is because it is imbalanced otherwise. And for Ryan Day, I brought this up with him in our conversation. A couple of years ago, Ryan Day said we need $13 million a year to keep our team together. And that number's, I'm sure, only gone up now, right? So I don't feel like based on the way that the game is played right now in terms of the financial aspect of it, there's going to always be have-nots. It's closer to baseball than it is to the NFL.
Wasn't this the same as before, though? Weren't there haves and have-nots, and the Badgers were a have-not, and every year the Badgers would have all the 2-star recruits, and they would always lose, signing day, and then all of a sudden they'd win games in the Big Ten? Isn't that what we're used to?
Right, but
Different.
back then you developed those guys, and then they became players that were of the caliber of those 4-star recruits who ended up not panning out for some of those schools. They were basically the Packers, right? Draft.
Wait,
and
so
develop.
Jason, and I want to ask Scalzo this first. Are you saying you can't do that today because those guys, as you're developing them, would just leave and wouldn't be loyal to Wisconsin, even if they were state kids and all that?
I think it's harder to do that now. I think the point you're trying to make is if you have the right coach, the right culture, the right program, you are going to have people who want to stay within that. But I think it becomes so much harder because the freedom of transfer, because of the NIL stuff. We saw it with basketball, right? Guard built this culture, and Chucky Hepburn's going to him being like, Louisville's going to pay me $750,000, and Guard being who he is like, go and take it. You're probably never going to make this ever again. State of college athletics does make that challenge harder. It doesn't make it impossible, but it certainly changes the dynamics of what Barry was able to do in Bielema and Paul Chryst, where they could develop guys over 3, 4, 5 years.
So you're saying even those walk-ons would be by their junior year, be like, all right, I'm peacing out. I can get $1 million somewhere else.
They're not even trying to develop walk-ons anymore.
That's what I'm saying. But if they were trying to, those guys would still be pieced out.
At some point,
probably.
If I went from a walk-on to being offered $200,000, I'm gone. I'm going to heartbeat. On Wisconsin, my behind. I'm gone.
Yeah.
Thanks for the loyalty there, Kyle.
I'm loyal, but boy, $200,000 at 20,
hey,
$200K.
Real quick, you made a comment that I've been thinking about since you said it. Who's the valedictorian? Jason.
Come on. I want him to guess.
I was going to go Jason, Greg, Craig, Kyle.
That's
was going to
so
be my order of power.
disrespectful. What do you mean, Kyle?
You went to Whitewater. I mean,
excuse me. I went to Whitefish Bay, the greatest high school in the state.
And
that's harder to be a valedictorian when you go to a good high school.
Yeah, exactly.
Very true.
Obviously, I knew it wasn't me. Jason,
no offense, Jason. No offense, Jason. But I mean, where did you go, Jason?
Yeah, I know he's in the Hall of Fame.
He went to a private school, didn't he?
Yeah, he went to a private school.
I just want to be clear. This has gone so well for me. Craig starting out with we're friends and this and that, but you did that shtick. Then I've gotten 3 no offense intended Jasons in 12 minutes.
Well, I also think that it's a real reflection of how far away Strofe was from being the valedictorian, that he didn't take the context clues that you used as the word elucidate. Then Craig made the joke.
But he was staring at you as you were figuring it out.
But there's one person out of everybody
Greg
here.
got kicked out of his high school.
I know, but
I did get kicked out of my first high school.
I thought maybe he really turned it around in a second high school. He's an incredibly smart individual.
I got good grades in the second high school.
You're a media mogul, man. I thought maybe you were the valedictorian. I don't know.
He did go to a good college as well.
Jason, how many kids in your graduating class?
102.
That's about the same as mine.
Number 1 out of 102.
I was 103 out of 113. So.
Ooh,
were you really?
I really was. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
2.5 GPA.
Wait, and where'd you get into?
I went to Stevens Point.
So Stevens Point will let anybody in?
Yes, they will. Yeah.
Harvard
of the Midwest.
And
I graduated in 4
What
years.
high school did you go to?
I went to Denmark High School, just south of Green Bay.
You must have had to try hard to have a GPA that low.
No, I just didn't care.
Yeah.
I did the things I liked, like this, and now here I am.
And it was Stroh's report card. All right. What else?
Congrats on being valedictorian. That's awesome.
All right, we're going to talk about
really paid off.
the game tomorrow night, which I'm still trying to figure out exactly how I'm going to watch. It's Sunday Karma, ESPN, Wisconsin, and right now it's a great opportunity for us to tell you about Gruber Law Offices, because it is one call, that's all, which is not like marketing. It's not just like what David says. It's about the community. I saw yesterday, and you got to always wonder what you're going to see on one of these social media sites where someone says, has anyone ever met David Gruber, and what's he really like in person? Guess what site that was on?
I'm going to go ahead and say Reddit.
Yes.
That was going to be my guess.
That was on Reddit. And you know how people just destroy people on Reddit? There were then about 1,000 different comments of people talking about how unbelievable David and his family are to everyone they meet, and how committed and involved in this community they are. And that's amazing, right? Because to build a brand like that in one generation, which David founded and has now helped tens of thousands of Wisconsinites, it truly means that they back up what they stand for. It truly means they are here and in this community. So that's why if you or a loved one's ever injured, remember, it is one call, that's all. And that's with Gruber Law Offices.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app. All day, every day, the Carbless talk and text line is open for you.
First off, there is not one team that's on the fringe that scares me.
800-990-3776. The Carbless talk and text line. This is more.
If only life had a remote control, you could pause or rewind. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Is it time to buy an engagement ring?
Or a big anniversary diamond?
Kessler's has diamonds that come from diamond mines.
And we also have diamonds that come from plasma chambers.
When you see the size of the diamond you can afford when you look at our high-tech newborn created diamonds,
You're going to be happy, happy, happy.
and with approved credit, our financing plans make anything possible.
Our selection of engagement rings is beyond compare.
And our custom design department can modify any ring in any way you choose.
Anyone who says they can give you a better ring
Or a better diamond.
Or a better price
has never been to Kessler's.
And our miraculous no small print warranty says,
If you bought it at Kessler's, it's guaranteed.
It's just that simple.
And all maintenance is free forever.
No charge.
yes, it really is that miraculous.
You found a partner you want to share your life with.
When you're ready to celebrate,
we've got a diamond for that.
Find the Kesslers nearest you at KesslersDiamonds.com.
Prize Picks is the best way to win cash on the Packers, on the Bucks, and whether it's football, basketball, or both, Prize Picks makes every game more exciting. Hey, it's Mark Tauscher here with ESPN Wisconsin, and I've been playing Prize Picks, and it is as fun and simple as it gets. Which players are going to go off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds, and you can turn your takes into cash. Just pick more or less on at least 2 player stats, get them right, and you can cash in. And now Prize Picks has stacks. Pick the player up to 3 times in one lineup. You want more on Giannis's threes, assists, rebounds? Stack them all only on Prize Picks. Plus, you can follow other players and copy their lineups in one click in the new Feed tab. And with injury reboots, if your player leaves in the first half and doesn't return, it won't count as a loss. Deposits are fast and easy with Venmo, Apple Pay, and MasterCard, and more. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use that code WI and you get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, that's code WI for Prize Picks. Prize Picks. It's good to be right.
Get the beat of the Bucks straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend.
Welcome to the fantastic voyage. Marcus Johnson, the captain of this vessel.
Tap into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production.
My first mate, Chris Johnson, the only father and son tandem.
Your weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks and conversations with the biggest names in basketball. This week on the pod, Marcus and Chris talk to NBA writer Zach Lowe. Find Here District now on Bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcast.
Ben Brust here, and let's cut the crap. I've been sold the lie with sportswear too. You pay a fortune for big name gear, a fancy logo, and a slogan, and it still stinks. Then I found Iron Jock, and now it's all I wear. It's built on science. Their silver ion technology is woven right into the fabric. It kills 99.9% of odor-causing bacteria, and it never washes out, ever. Right now, you can get 35% off your Iron Jock gear using code NOSHOW35. That's NOSHOW35. Get yours today at ironjock.com. That's ironjoc.com.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options for you. You can even earn credit for experience you already have or for the work you're doing now, saving time and money. Start customizing your future today at lakeland.edu/ESPN. Lakeland University. Experience it your way.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Give me your biggest takeaway.
One. Oh, number one?
Yes.
With the bullet, it's not even close. Micah Parsons is the guy we thought he is.
On 94.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Continuing with Jason Wilde. Talk a little Packers with Jason as well after a lot of Badger discussion last segment. So, Jason, is it overreacting to the Packers playing down to its competition because there's no team in the NFL that has been consistent this year?
As I always like to say, the Packers are a flawed football team, and so is everybody else, right? And they have shown their flaws. So have the Eagles at times. So has Buffalo. Even the Chiefs have, right? And so I don't think it's inaccurate to say that about them. At the same time, like I was having a conversation this week because the story I'm doing today is about usually at this point in the season, I feel like I've got a pretty good feel for how good they are. And I think they're good. I think they're potentially really good, although without Tucker Kraft, I don't think they're a Super Bowl team. And I was talking to Zach Tom about this, and I kind of, made my case basically. And he's like, I agree with everything he said. Like, we're completely inconsistent. And one series, we look like we're the best offense in the league. And the next series, we commit a penalty, give up a sack, and it's like 3rd and 23. And then we check it down and punt. And I get that, but again, that consistency is the hardest thing to achieve. And when I asked LaFleur about this yesterday, his basic premise is that, first of all, they're trying to figure out exactly how their offense works best with the way teams are defending them. But he even admitted that he couldn't think of a game where they've played complementary 4-quarter football in all 3 phases. And I would argue that the last time that actually happened was not even that New Orleans game where they beat them 34-0 or whatever it was last year. It was the playoff game against Dallas, which is now a season and a half removed from what these guys have done since. So I still think that there's the pieces of a really good team. I think Jordan Love has obviously made some crucial mistakes from time to time this season, but I think he's taken a meaningful step forward. I don't know what their ceiling is because I don't know how consistently they can play at that level.
Do you feel like we're at a place right now where this could actually be a good thing for this team? The fact that they're going through it now, dealing with the challenges, kind of allows the coaching staff to dig in more before you get down the home stretch? Or do you think that this identity of who they are, which feels somewhat like a continuation of the inconsistency we've seen in seasons past, is almost more solidified now of, okay, well, this is part of their identity?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and I'm not saying that to sound like Chris McIntosh. But
Thank you. I appreciate that.
It is, and the reason I'm saying it is because I think that's exactly what they're trying to figure out as well, right? Like they feel like they've identified the issues, right? Their offensive line, for example. Like, I don't think 8 games into the season, you want your offensive coordinator admitting that there have been too many instances where their linemen have blocked the wrong guy, right? I think it's reasonable at this point in the year to think, okay, you may not execute the block properly, But by now you should know who you were supposed to block on each play. Fair? So there's that. I think their biggest issue offensively is they have to get their running game to be more productive, because when we started the season, teams were and the only team that's done it really since those first two games was Pittsburgh, with Mike Tomlin even saying at halftime, look, their linchpin is Josh Jacobs. We have to stop him before everything else. And they ended up giving up, 360 passing yards to Jordan Love. So you saw what the Panthers did last week. They have to be able to run the ball against defenses that are keeping both their safeties back to wipe out their chances at explosive plays. And if you look at last week, they had some production in the run. But Jordan Love, this stat is mind-blowing. After 2 games, according to Pro Football Focus, I can quote this because we just wrote it, his air yards per attempt was 13.1. So every time, because he had so many explosive plays down the field in those first 2 games, every time he dropped back, he was averaging 13-plus yards per attempt in the air. Since then, 6.6.
Oof.
They're checking everything down.
Oof.
And look, even those numbers are skewed because he threw 2 deep balls that neither one of them he probably should have thrown to Watson last Sunday, one of which was caught in double coverage, one which was intercepted in triple coverage. So, that is the book on them now. And until you start to run the ball down their throats with incredible consistency, there's that word again, defenses are going to continue to do this. And so they have to figure that. That, to me, is their number one thing, and it's going to be tough tomorrow night, because if you look back, I was just watching some of the playoff game from January, and that's exactly what Vic Fangio did. He basically said, look, try to beat us this way. And the Packers obviously couldn't, and Jordan threw 3 interceptions, and they did not play well.
Real quick, is the Eagles' defense, does it resemble last year's defense that dominated the Chiefs and won the Super Bowl? Because with no Tucker Kraft, with Jacobs running for under 4 yards a carry, if that's the case, then you'd think the Packers are in for a long night tomorrow night.
Yeah, I don't think they're as good. You can obviously see their front has not been. I mean, their 2 defensive tackles are 2 of the best in business. But overall, no, they have not. They've been, kind of figuring things out. But it goes back to your original point, Craig. The Eagles are the same. They're still trying to figure out who they are and what they do well. And defensively, I mean, they acquired 3 guys in the week of the trade deadline. Now, one of them's Jair Alexander. I don't know, how much of a role he's going to have. But they went and got Michael Carter, who clearly is going to play some for them. And then their big trade, obviously, for Jalen Phillips. They have been searching for pass rush. And what did we spend all of last season, and especially going into and coming out of the playoff game, talking about? Well, the Packers, if they could just get to be like the Eagles and get pressure consistently with their front 4 and not have to blitz and generate pressure other ways, that would help their defense immensely. A year later, they're bringing Brandon Graham out of retirement to try and get their pass rush going. They're trading for Phillips. So to me, they're still trying to get back to what they were defensively. Zach Bond hasn't been as dominant as he was a year ago, but he's still a really good player. So they're still trying to figure out too, and that's why all these NFL coaches will tell you that, we just want to know who we are by December and then be playing our best football. And the Packers and the Eagles both feel that way.
Last quickie, kind of fun, right? Adam Schefter comes out with the report today on the night before, I guess Eve of, like Christmas Eve. It's the day before.
Yeah.
I don't know, because it's the morning, but
He's
it's
been holding
Eve.
that for a while.
Yeah, he held it to say that Micah Parsons, in his deal when the Packers acquired him, the Packers had to agree that if they traded him to the Eagles, they would give up a first-round pick to the Cowboys. If they traded him to the Eagles, I mean, that's it's considered a poison pill. Jason, do we know, have teams done this? Did the Packers do this with the Jets to make sure Favre wasn't going to the Vikings originally? How common is this in the NFL?
Not very common at all. In fact, it is believed, and Adam I found this story fascinating on a couple of levels. One, it is believed it's the first time it's been done since the Favre trade. which included a poison pill that the Jets would have to give up three first-round picks if they traded Favre to any of the other 3 NFC North teams. So that's how they wrote that trade. Now, here's the other.
That's wild, by the way.
That's not
like when the 30 for 30 is done. Like they were so sure he wanted to go to the division that it was, and that's why they sent him to the Jets.
And they were right.
3 number ones. That's crazy.
Yeah, but they were right. I mean, he goes there the next year when he didn't retire. He asked for his release. But the other piece of Adam's story, if you read the entirety of it, and this was to me the most wild part about it, is that they did the same thing with Kenny Clark. So the poison pill goes both ways. That if the Cowboys traded Kenny Clark to one of the 3 NFC North teams, they would owe the Packers their 2028 first-round pick, or I don't know if they would have had to give back one of the Packers' first-round picks. But like remember, they went out and traded for Quinnen Williams at the trade deadline. And if for some reason they were unhappy with Kenny, they had wanted to trade him, they couldn't trade him in the NFC North because the Packers had the poison pill go the other direction as well. I thought that, and I had somebody on Twitter mention that to them that was even more interesting, and I thought that person made a fair point because Kenny Clark, especially after watching the Packers run defense last Sunday, he is still missed around here, that's for sure.
All right, well, there he is, Jason Wilde, as we get ready for Packers and Eagles. You can listen to Jason Wilde and Tausch tomorrow, where I'm sure there'll be lots of compelling Badger and Packer discussion. Thanks so much, Jason, and Strophe, probably time for you to tell us a little bit about Door County Distillery.
I can handle that. Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in Door County in Carlsville, just north of Sturgeon Bay. They've got gins, they've got brandies, they've got rums, they've got whiskeys. Anything you need to elevate your tailgate, your holiday gathering with Thanksgiving coming up, and all the in-betweens. Visit their website, doorcountydistillery.com. Find the retailer nearest you available where great booze is sold all over the state, Madison, Beaver Dam, and Milwaukee. It's doorcountydistillery.com.
115 out of 123, and he can knock out a live read like that. It is Sunday Karma, ESPN Wisconsin.
You're listening to Sunday Karma on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
Homer here for Window Nation's end-of-the-year sale. This November, you'll save big with 50% off all window styles, plus you could get 0% financing for 5 years. Window Nation's proven quality windows are so good, you'll actually save money on lower utility bills and come with a lifetime warranty. Window Nation even has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. Don't miss out on 50% off and 0 interest for 5 years. Visit windownation.com to get started.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. It's not just a slogan, but the way of life at Gruber Law Offices. If you've been injured, call our team today. We've represented tens of thousands of injured Wisconsinites for more than 30 years. Trust Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Bucks. One call, that's all.
When storms hit or accidents happen, it's not just about property, it's about people. I'm Mandy Grimal-Lococo with Grimal & Associates Insurance. We help families bundle home, auto, and life coverage so you're never facing life's what-ifs alone. With the heavy rains we've seen in Milwaukee, we'll review your policy to be sure water backup, sump pump failures, and flood risks don't drain your wallet. Your home is more than walls and a roof, it's where life happens. At Grimal & Associates Insurance in Shorewood, we're here to protect your home, your family, and your peace of mind. Call us today at 414-332-0838.
You're listening to 94.5 ESPN, WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee, a Good Karma Brands radio station. More Sunday Karma coming up on ESPN Wisconsin and the ESPN Wisconsin app.
He is a bad, bad man. 26 carries, 210 yards, 2 touchdowns, an 83-yard touchdown by Jonathan Taylor, Wisconsin Badger great, to give the Colts a 22-17 lead over the Atlanta Falcons. 6 minutes to go in the Berlin game. Jonathan Taylor
so good.
Just continues to amaze. And, there's certain times where it's like, okay, Tyrese Halliburton has become hard to root for when you're from Wisconsin, which I'm watching Starting Five. Has anyone watched season 2 of Starting Five?
I have not.
Nobody's on that show, man, and it's so good. And I'm not saying in this group, like I don't feel like it's being consumed broadly. Starting Five on Netflix is so good this season. You got all this KD stuff, all this Harden stuff, all this Tyrese stuff. You got Shea and you got Jaylen Brown.
And this is last season that they're documenting?
They're following last season. And, the NBA, which we will get to now, is off to such a great start. And there's so much interesting stuff happening. Today, Kevin Durant's coming here. And Kevin Durant is the most unappreciated, beyond superstar we've had in the history of sports, I think, because of what he has done in the NBA and what he's done beyond the NBA. The fact that he went and played in that 2021 Olympics and led the U.S. to a gold when nobody else of those top-line players, remember, Drew Holiday was probably the second most impactful player on that team coming off of the Bucks championship run, at the end of COVID. Kevin Durant is just incredible, and he's going to be here today. You can get lower level seats, including all the taxes, all the everything, for under $100, and you can get tickets in the building for under $50. It's amazing what you can still see at a reasonable price in the NBA right now to bring yourselves, bring your family, whatever it is. Last week, getting to see Russell Westbrook along with, all those other guys, and Russell Westbrook, became the all-time leading rebounding guard in the history of the NBA this week. Had a crazy triple-double this week. And now to have Durant, it's just such a great opportunity to watch true greatness and watch the work ethic of these guys 15 years plus into their careers playing at a high level. Greg, you want to mock me? Go.
Way to sell the NBA. Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. The
2012 Thunder.
There's so many great young players, and you have Wemby.
Don't knock Russ.
No, I'm gonna knock.
Russ disrespect
I'm gonna knock.
You can knock me. I'm fine with that.
Craig being like, hey, out of everybody's takes as to why the NBA is so great now, it's like, come and see these guys who are in their late 30s, and you might remember from 13.
I'm saying Kevin Durant has led the Rockets to have the best offense in the NBA this year. I just think there's sometimes we take it for granted that guys are playing at this level this late in their careers, and we all yearn to see greatness, and these guys are it. And I just want us to appreciate it while it's here.
It's hilarious that you're talking about Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook and being these old guys, come and get him. It's like when Pele was playing in the U.S. when he was 50 years old, and it was.
That's how you think Durant is right now. The guy's leading.
No, he's great, but I'm saying out of all the great youth movement.
No, CMN Thompson also today with the Rockets, and hopefully see the Bucks win today as this juggernaut team comes in, who is this physically imposing team, especially without Fred VanVleet, where they can play 5 guys who are 6'8" or better. It's going to be so fascinating to see. The Pistons.
And when LA comes to town, see where LeBron's hairline is. He's still doing it
while he's sitting on the bench.
Right, and if LeBron's back, absolutely. I don't think he will be back, but. It's incredible to see these Hall of Fame legendary guys. It was like the Olympics this past season, which is another unbelievable Netflix thing to watch on this past Olympics.
I watched Ryan Rollins single-handedly outduel Steph Curry 2 weeks ago. If we're going to stay in the spirit of all-time greats.
The future.
How about where Bobby Portis ranks, as I was telling y'all, in Bucks leading scorers this year? How deep is this Bucks team? Because we know that Bobby Portis can score, right? And the fact that Giannis, Ryan Rollins, Kuzma, Trent Jr., A.J. Green, Miles Turner, Cole Anthony, Kevin Porter Jr. in the one quarter he played are all averaging more points per game than Bobby Portis.
You're bearing the lead on that one, though, Craig. How many names did you say before Miles Turner?
Yeah. I mean, Miles Turner, right? Like seventh on the team and
sixth or seventh.
Sixth.
6, 7. Yeah,
yep, he's sixth. Before last game, he was seventh, but he had a big game Friday night against the Bulls. Good win for the Bucks. Cavs also beat the Bulls last night as the Bulls maybe coming back down to earth a little bit.
Have we adopted the Giannis and friends branding of this year's team?
I think we knew anyone could be the second leading scorer on this team. I think over time you'd guess it would be Miles Turner.
You'd think.
Because those other guys, once Kevin Porter Jr. comes back, Ryan Rollins, may not be getting the shot attempts that he's getting now. But it's that I would think is pretty tough to prepare for because no one's if the point is, it's just Giannis and friends, then we could figure out Giannis. Or we could figure out the friends. I don't know that anyone's figured out either of them.
No, I don't either. And that's what makes this team so fascinating and fun to watch. They're younger, they're faster, they're deeper than past years in terms of a scoring capacity. And I said to you before we started the show today, Craig, I'm struggling to figure out the offensive identity of Miles Turner. Obviously, had a really nice game against Chicago.
But real quick,
Friday.
Giannis. Let's just talk about Giannis real quick.
Yeah,
Giannis is averaging his least minutes per game since pre-pandemic. He's averaging his most points per game since pre-pandemic. He has the highest field goal percentage and three-point field goal percentage of his career, and he is averaging the second most rebounds per game, not per 36 minutes, of his career. Giannis is doing that now with all the noise, all the nonsense, all the other stuff. Greg, you're mocking me again.
I'm not.
Okay.
I mean, Kyle's talking in my ear. No,
okay.
Giannis is unbelievable. Like Giannis is unbelievable. We know that. To me, this isn't that surprising. I mean, we talked about it weeks ago. Like, for years, everybody's been saying, hey, team needs to get younger. They need to get more athletic. You need to surround Giannis with three-point shooters. Well, they got younger, they got more athletic, and they surrounded Giannis with three-point shooters. Like, we've seen this play out in Denver, and I know the Bucks don't have a Jamal Murray to Jokic, but at the same time, you surround Jokic.
Or do they?
With Ryan Rollins.
Or Kevin Porter Jr. I mean, that's the thing.
Rollins is a dog.
That's kind of my point, is that, like, you surround a great all-time MVP player with key pieces, and you're going to be able to win. And it's a little bit of a tangent from where the NBA started going, which was you need to pair 2 or 3 stars together and then fill out your roster from there.
Right. That's a really good point.
But the depth, the effort, like just how they're built is smart.
Who's their best on-ball defender? Who's going to slow down other guys on other teams? Because I know Miles Turner, fantastic rim protector.
Yes, he is.
That's my biggest concern.
I think that's a fair concern. I mean, Taurean Prince, right, is a good defender.
I'm just that. No, I wasn't going to do that, Taurean Prince. I was doing that looking at the roster. Best on-ball defender is probably Giannis.
Well, and he's not going to be able to defend some. I mean, he can try to defend the guard.
But I'm saying he's probably the best on-ball defender if you're truly looking at Gary Trent Jr. can lock in defensively.
That's my only thing is that when you
Kevin Porter Jr. is a guy who can man-to-man lock in a very athletic player once he's back. And Ryan Rollins, I don't want to ignore. Ryan Rollins is a guy who we thought that's all he could do, at some points of his career. So I just think today is fascinating because we said Giannis and friends. You look at the Rockets, their top 4 guys, Kevin Durant we've talked about, but Amen Thompson, Sengun, and Jabari Smith Jr. Like, do you know how big these 4 guys are? Durant, we've known is
they're all what, 6'8" or more.
Durant, we've known is probably 7 feet.
6'7".
Has never wanted to admit it. Right? He's probably 7 feet. Sengun is 6'11".
Yep. Thompson
is 6'7" and as long as can be, and Jabari Smith is also 6'11". Like, so. Amen Thompson is going to probably be playing point guard a lot of today at 6'7". Like, that's how big and long, and I mean, this team is a wild team to try to match up with.
Yeah.
They're just so physical.
Yeah, they're great, and that's a team in the West that I think you have to really look out for. And I think this is one of those years that is sort of the inverse of what we're talking about from a Badger standpoint, where you're lucky to be in the East if you're the Bucks right now.
Good day of ball today.
I'm excited for the Bucks. I don't know about y'all. I'm excited. I think the Bucks legitimately have a shot. A shot
at what?
A win in the Eastern Conference.
I do too.
I mean, there's what team? I mean, Cleveland. I mean, we don't know what they're going to be. But
New York.
And then if Joel Embiid is somehow stays healthy, then maybe the 76ers.
I'm not buying Philly. I'm buying Detroit more. I'm buying Detroit more than I'm buying Philly.
Sixers Detroit is a game today.
Well, it's because of the fact that Detroit did it last year, the sense of they're coming together as a unit versus Philly getting infused.
Yeah, they're on the up.
Philly's on the up or Detroit?
Detroit's on the up.
But I mean, Edgecombe coming in.
He's nice. And Maxi's nice, and they are legit. But when I'm looking, I mean, I think you got to look at the Cavs, you got to look at the Knicks, and you got to look at the Bucks.
Yeah. Well, and the Bucks have the best player in the Eastern Conference.
They sure do.
Like that's what basketball was for how long?
And his name is Ryan Rollins.
The Falcons are inside the 10-yard line.
Is Ryan Rollins an all-star?
They need no, not yet. They need a touchdown to win the game against the Colts. Be very interesting now as Algier takes it down to the 1-yard line. Algier already with his career-high 5th touchdown earlier today. Now it'll be interesting to see if the Colts try to let them in right away.
Why do you know that? Why do you know Tyler Algier?
He's a real fantasy
career-high touchdowns.
Yeah, it's on one of his teams.
It's what we know.
Yeah.
It's what we know. We know what we know.
Pretty soon he's going to be
we are
taking
a break.
The NFL's in such a great spot. You can watch Matthew Stafford later today. You're going to be able to watch Aaron Rodgers, suit up for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
If you can't appreciate watching Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford at this stage of their careers doing what they're doing,
that was awesome.
So the Colts, obviously, none of us ever believed the Colts were for real, correct? When they were the best team in the NFL based off a record, and they were beating up on teams.
There's nobody that's for real, though.
No, that's not true.
You're saying the Bills and the Chiefs are for real? Are you saying the Ravens? Are the Ravens for real?
We'll see.
I'll tell you a team I love.
Quarterback back.
You make fun of Matthew Stafford. I love the Rams this year.
If the Rams go on the road to the Colts, you think they can go on the road to the Colts? You like them today?
I don't like
them today.
Going to San Francisco?
No. Well, they're going to San Francisco.
They lost to San Francisco at home. There's Tyler Algier's 6th touchdown career high.
Why are you cheesing so hard, Craig?
Yeah. Because I have Bijan Robinson and Algier's stealing all these touchdowns from my guy.
Oh, that's why you know that.
Oh.
I do have Algier, but I have him as a handcuff. So, I don't have him starting today.
I'm playing against Tyler Algier in one of my leagues.
Well, I asked a question because do you think some people are looking at the Green Bay Packers saying they're not for real?
Yes. Everybody's saying that.
So we're the Colts of the NFC.
No, I think it's fair to look at any team in the NFL.
Stop it.
You could look at any team in the NFL and say they're not for real this year.
I don't think that's true.
Not true.
You don't think the Chiefs are for real? You don't think that the Bills are for real?
I'll back Craig up here.
You can look at them.
Every team has very clear shortcomings.
Well, of course, but that's sports. You could say that pretty much at any point about any team.
I think what you can agree with is it seems like if you go from like team 1 to team 18 in the league, the difference is much thinner. Here we are in week 10 than I think past years.
I disagree. You
because the cream of the crop
thing
typically separates around this.
But last year, like the Chiefs also, they had a great record, but they won how many one-score games? And they didn't look like world beaters. We do this it's the same conversation every NFL year. It's why the NFL's amazing, because there is parity. But at some point, once you get to the playoffs, the cream does rise to the top. And that is your Bills. That is
But is it the Falcons?
Chiefs,
is it the Falcons who are 3-5 right now, who dominated the Bills 2 weeks ago and is now beating the Colts? Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's true what you're saying this year. I don't know who the cream is that's rising to the top.
Right. But, okay, well, if you were to bet right now who you think is going to be there in the Final Four, I think that most people would have
Rams, Eagles, Chiefs, Bills.
Probably. I mean, like those are the 4 teams, right? You look at, and you might change out the Rams for somebody here or there.
The
but
Packers.
Those are teams that have all been there. They've all done it before. Their quarterbacks have all won. I know Allen hasn't won a Super Bowl
So the odds
yet,
right now are that the Chiefs and Bills would be in the AFC, and the Lions and Eagles would be there in the NFC.
Lions is another one you could throw.
And the Rams and the Packers. The Rams and the Packers are the slightest bit behind those 2 NFC teams. Yeah. You know, so because the Lions are plus 800 to win the Super Bowl, the Packers are plus 900.
You're losing to J.J. McCarthy at home, right? So, I don't know what to make of Detroit.
Exactly. I think that's why Strophy's point is fair, and I don't think we've seen this the last few years. Last year, the Lions lost 3 games.
It's fair, but
the playoff loss.
But you had a team in the Vikings that came out of nowhere and had a great record that people didn't necessarily believe in. You had other really good teams who didn't have great records. This stuff happens.
By the way, the new kickoff rules are awesome. Colts take the kickoff back. They are down 25-22 and they take the kickoff back with 1 minute and 37 seconds to go to about midfield. So the Colts are almost in field goal range already with a chance to send this Berlin game to be the 5th overtime game of this NFL season. How about that for a stat trophy? And how about you telling us a little bit about Door County Distillery?
Locally produced, handcrafted, award-winning spirits made locally in Door County. What should I mix up today, Greg? A little old-fashioned with the single malt whiskey?
Now, when you make you
make an old-fashioned with the single malt?
Sometimes, yeah.
When you make an old fashioned and you're in Wisconsin, do you assume it's a Wisconsin old fashioned? Like, is that or to make an old fashioned, would you call it a Wisconsin old fashioned?
Well, Kyle was in my ear, so I missed half that question.
He's asking if you're making a Wisconsin old fashioned or a normal old fashioned, traditional old fashioned.
I believe I'm making a Wisconsin old fashioned. I think that's the only one I know how to make because I grew up here.
You use brandy with Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm more of a whiskey old fashioned.
Wild move.
Why is that wild?
It's like peaty and smoky.
You should try it.
Yeah, I have.
Just try it. Come on over. I'll make a single malt old fashioned with Door County Distillery. Visit the website DoorCountyDistillery.com. It's not going to happen. He says. That was a quick dismissal. You want to hang out with me?
By the way, my Palermo's pick, which I clearly reference, is to check out Starting Five on Netflix. It is a great show, season 2. Great history of NBA stuff and great insight behind it. The guys really dig in, and I think it's absolutely fun to watch.
That's been on for a while, hasn't it?
Bucks by 8.
It dropped like 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Oh, I feel like I was watching it a while ago because Jason Tatum is he in this one?
That was last season.
Oh, Anthony Edwards.
That was last season.
Okay, yeah, then I have not seen it.
Well, it's Kyle in the news cycle. He's always very far behind.
Yeah, Kyle.
Strofe makes stuff up.
When next week's newspaper,
the poison pill thing.
When next week's newspaper comes out, you'll learn about season 2.
Strofe just likes to just make things up, don't you?
No.
Well, he can't make up the story that the Wisconsin Badgers are, in fact, amongst the teams with a win in the Big Ten. Congratulations to Luke Fickell and the Wisconsin Badgers.
The Badgers won yesterday. Did you know that?
What? They won?
Stay healthy.
I actually watched the game. You probably didn't.
Stay together. Survive today. Thrive tomorrow. Don't settle. You have been listening. Oh, what do we have coming up next? Let's
Marquette,
Indiana.
baby.
Marquette
in Chicago.
Great day of sports. Marquette, Indiana coming up with basketball. There's Badger volleyball going on today. There's Bucks basketball. Huge day with the Packers playing on a Monday night. Kyle, send us out.
Peace.
This is ESPN Wisconsin and ESPNWisconsin.com. Greg Matzek, Gary Ellerson, the day after reaction show you need in your life.
Who benefits the most from Micah Parsons being on the field? Secondary. Keyshawn Nix.
It's Potawatomi Sportsbook Football Mondays with Greg and Gary.
If you're a quarterback, you've got to get the football out of your hands before you really want to do it. I mean, everybody's getting their wealth with this, but to me, I think it's really the guys in the secondary.
Live from the Potawatomi Sportsbook Studios from 6 to 8 p.m. every Monday on 94.5 ESPN.
The dance of sunlight on water.
Shimmering, sparkling, beautiful, hypnotic.
Houses that overlook a gorgeous body of water are the most highly desired houses in the world.
The Bellamare collection of fine jewelry features classic white diamonds flanked and surrounded by rare and exotic blue diamonds.
Bellamare means beautiful water.
Bellamare, sunlight on water, glimmering and twinkling.
The dance is enticing.
The look is spectacular.
The impact is exciting.
Blue and white diamonds created in the heart of Mother Nature.
Will dance and sing on the body of a glittering, sparkling woman.
Bellamare. This blue and white beauty of sunlight on water
should be worn on the fingers,
the wrist,
the neck and the ears
of the woman you love.
The Bellamare collection is available only at Kessler's.
We do diamonds better because diamonds are what we do.
For the location of the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find bourbons and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With curbside pickup available and the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
Macy's one-day sale is the perfect time to get a jump on holiday shopping because you'll find incredible deals on great gifts like Style & Co sweaters for $19.99, coats for the family for under $100, and diamond studs for $2.99. That's over half off. Plus, it's Star Money bonus days when Star Rewards members can earn Star Money faster. Not a member yet? Join for free and start earning $10 in Star Money for every $100 you spend at Macy's one-day sale today. Savings off select styles. Exclusions apply.
Penalty flags? Not here. Carbless is the clean play that every football fan can agree on. With zero sugar, zero carbs, and just 100 calories, you get all the flavor without the penalty. Whether you're tailgating outside the stadium, hosting a crew at home, or watching solo in your lucky jersey, Carbless brings premium cocktails right into the huddle. Made to be refreshingly delicious and game day ready, Carbless keeps fans cheering from kickoff to the final whistle. So this season, skip the sugar, skip the carbs, and make the winning call. Find your bliss with Carbless.
This is Matt Meitner, owner of Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Do you find yourself talking to your dog but feel like she's not listening to you?
Bella, sit!
Are you constantly repeating yourself but she's not following your directions?
Sit! Sit!
Frustrating, isn't it? At Sit Means Sit Dog Training, we want to help you have a happy, confident, and obedient dog, and we also want to make the training process an enjoyable and worthwhile experience. Contact Sit Means Sit today to schedule a free consultation so we can create a customized training program so you are able to have the dog you want and deserve.
Sit Means Sit Dog Training. Sorry, we don't train husbands, wives, or kids.
Your path to a degree should fit your life, not the other way around. At Lakeland University, you can personalize every part of your college experience. With a main campus in Sheboygan, evening classes across the state, and flexible online options, you choose how and when you learn. Just graduated high school, changing careers, juggling work and life, they've got options